Hello and welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I continue to be Gerry. He continues to be Edward.
Woo!
Yeah? All right, so let's do the news. Let's start with something that happened last night, I believe. Edward, do you want to give a little intro to this?
Yeah, it's nothing to do with Everton, but if you haven't heard already, Sergio Aguero was involved in a car crash in Amsterdam, and obviously it's not his fault. No football fan wants that to happen, and he has actually come away with a fractured rib or a cracked rib, something like that, and he's going to be out for a couple of months. So everyone at Toffee Blues wishes Aguero all the best, and hopefully you can recover soon, mate.
Definitely. So, get well soon, Aguero. Okay? So, we move past the more serious stuff into a little bit more. I don't know if this is nonsense or not. We gotta figure this out. Koeman has said the problem with Everton is that they're too scared to play forward. So, is this a remnant of the Martinez era, or is this a result of him selecting a team without pace?
I don't know, to be honest. I think it's both. It could be both. It is his fault for team selection, not having the pace in. Sandro was great. He had a lot of pace. It was something we needed. Him and Calvert-Lewin, though, and Vlasic should have been together. Bit more pace in the forward line, because the system he wants to play needs a big target man. Could be Calvert-Lewin, but he still needs the pace with him. And saying the two are afraid to play football, they're probably too afraid because they're trying to conserve the energy, like you say. They've not got the pace, so they need to have the energy all game.
I agree. I think it's both. I do. However, I will say that was a very familiar. That first half was very familiar. All right, we mentioned it. We mentioned it earlier in a different video, but yeah, yeah. Anyway, so I think Koeman's got to shoulder some of that. I can't just blame the players.
No.
You know. All right. So next, after the game, actually no, it was during the game. Neville Southall tweeted after the Vlasic goal.
Yeah.
Great finish. Amazing what happens when you sprint.
Yeah.
So my question is Everton lazy?
Well, it's like I was saying, they're just trying to conserve energy because they've got the last two halves. And, okay, I won't blame it all on the manager because we are being dealt very harshly fixture-wise and all that, because we've literally played one game the Wednesday, one game the Saturday, one game Thursday, and now we're going to be playing one game on the Sunday as well. So maybe that's something to do with it.
I don't know. I think the word lazy is probably not accurate. I can't say that. I think when I watch them play, even when they're losing, I do think they're playing hard. I do think they're trying. I can't say that. Now, do I see that reckless abandon the way I saw Vlasic? You know, Vlasic looked like no one was going to stop him.
Vlasic was
every single time. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing. You see, whenever he's around the ball, he's probably going to win it. You feel it.
Yeah.
You watch him because he's putting in the effort. He's going all out, and I don't know if you always see that. So I don't know. It could be a case of people being afraid to make mistakes. Because Koeman tends to not really be Mr. Relationship with his players, you know, so maybe they're so scared to death to risk
doing it wrong.
And maybe that's a big part of it. Yeah. You know, if they risk and they go against what Koeman was drilling them in practice, you know, they're so focused on trying to do things right that they don't take a risk to do anything spectacular. So, I don't know. All right.
I remember there was a quote on this Nike football ad, which was quite good. There is no greater danger than playing it safe.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really truthful with that. I believe Ronaldo said that in not Cristiano, the original, the better Ronaldo.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it reminds me. It does remind me of later Martinez, where people just weren't taking any risks.
No.
No one was trying to take anyone on. It was very much you receive the ball and you're so scared that someone's going to be right around the corner that you don't turn. You play it backward. You really, that's one of the things they usually teach you is play the way you're facing so you don't turn into trouble. That's true. And I will say, when I watched Sandro cut into the right several times yesterday and get ripped to the ball every time, it was frustrating to watch, to lose possession like that. However, we're talking about a player that's trying to get a shot. He wants to unleash that right foot.
At least he's trying to shoot. At least he's doing.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
Something different. At least we're trying to
Yeah.
shoot and take opportunities now. So that's an improvement, but putting them in the right position.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Anyway, so as usual, as with a lot of these discussion topics, there is no right answer.
No.
But we're chipping away at it. So the last thing, this is another maybe, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but Ireland have called up James McCarthy to their provisional squad because he's healthy-ish now, but he hasn't played a game all season. All right, Koeman has talked about how McCarthy's going to play some under-23 games to try to build up his fitness, but Ireland have called him up. How much do we care right now? How much should we care? Because to us and Koeman, he's so far from getting a game.
He's still a good player though. He's still good, and he likes doing that sort of like pressure, winning the ball, get it forward. He is one of those players. So if he came back into the side, he's a different option to Schneiderlin and Gay. Gay though, I think is still good. Schneiderlin needs to sort of like take a break. I think Besic, when he came, was okay. So, but McCarthy coming in could alter it, bring something different to the table. We don't know. I still think he's a good player. I think he's a quality player.
With McCarthy, it usually works where he's hurt, he comes back for one game and plays well. And then he gets hurt in training again, and he's out for another month or two. One of the things about somebody like Gareth Barry, consistency. You know, how consistent has Gareth Barry been?
Oh, by the way, congratulations on holding the all-time Premier League record appearance.
Yeah, we should have done that earlier.
Congrats.
Yay! I wish he would have done it with us, but you know.
I'm kind of glad he was at another game.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
So, but that's the thing. It would have been, I don't know, moments like when we need to put Schneiderlin on the bench, we need to let Gay take a breather. McCarthy would be valuable. And sometimes Besic isn't having his best game. I think when he comes back, Koeman is going to play him.
That's
because
if he's not off for another long amount of time, thanks to Ireland.
Yeah. Well, I think Koeman likes McCarthy the way he plays. I think
he's in his
seen
plans.
him play.
You can tell. He's in his plans.
He's seen him do good work. But usually it has to do with McCarthy wanting to leave, or McCarthy being injured, or some kind of rift over, Ireland national squad. So, I think we're all in agreement. If he was healthy, it'd be great to have him.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just, when is that
gonna happen?
So, yeah. All right. So, that's the news. I don't know what that was. See, that seems more like a little news, like, wow, one of those graphics that hit the news. Mine was kind of some weird
thing.
Alarm bell thing. Yeah. I'll work on it. I'll get something better. I'll practice in front of the mirror. All right, so let's move on to the post, which is what we call it now. Yeah. So followers and viewers and people out there have sent in discussion topics and questions for us, and we will read them and answer and discuss them. So we're We're going to start off with a familiar name. The man with three first names. That's right. We're talking about Douglas Elliott Matthew. He contributed earlier. He's contributing again. I like this. It's a good thing. Yeah, heart with hand. So, his question is, if we sack Koeman, who would you bring in to replace him?
So that is a very good question. I was actually talking about that earlier today. For me, I think West Ham are being linked with these two. So I think personally, if we went in for them, we'd have a lot more sort of like chance of them coming to us. They are Thomas Tuchel, who came from Dortmund, currently out of a job at the minute. He did leave, and Carlo Ancelotti. See, I think Ancelotti would be brilliant for us. He's got the experience, but he's also got the winning mentality. But he knows how the Premier League works. He knows how to play the team, and I think with our kind of team, he could do some real good with it.
I think those are both great managers. Those are great managers. I'm gonna go with a less sexy option.
Okay.
A less European option.
Okay.
I want to give Unsworth a chance.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd say Unsworth definitely deserves a go.
You know, I just want to. You know what? And to start, because it's not the sexy choice, because it's in-house. Everybody always wants to get someone from afar, and a lot of times that's a good option because you mentioned two really quality managers. The fact is, look at the amazing work he's done with the U23s, and he totally gets Everton. He understands it. He is, I don't know, the one game he managed after Martinez left, I mean, we look good. And he's not afraid to play some of these younger players because he's worked with them a lot. He trusts them. And that's the thing with Koeman is these younger players have to earn his trust. So I would go with him, and I would start off by calling him caretaker manager, just so the fans are not super I wanted somebody amazing who won Champions League, just so they realize hey, let's give him time to kind of see how he does. I think we could have a really good year with him, and it'd be a seamless transition. I think. But I don't know if it's likely yet. I think eventually he will be Everton manager. I just don't know if they'll give it to him yet. You know what I mean? So, and to be fair, I still think that Koeman's going to last the season. I don't think he's going to get sacked this season. I actually think he's going to turn things around a bit. It's just taking him a while. Like I said, his second half of seasons is usually better than his first. So
we'll see.
Yeah. So let's move. Jason F. Bland. I have no idea what the F stands for. But Jason F. Bland stands for... no idea. So Jason F. Bland says, stop playing Rooney. I bet we'd play better without him. What do you think, Edward?
He's got a point. Bournemouth game, we played a lot better. And I think if we didn't sub Rooney off, we would have lost. Sounds harsh, but... I actually thought he was one of our best players last night. I thought he was really good. But he's just not up for it. He's up for it. He's just, his body's not up for it, in a sense.
I'm on the fence about this, all right? Because when we made those subs yesterday, we took out Gay and brought in Vlasic, all right, who made a huge difference. Brought in Calvert-Lewin as well. Rooney stayed out there. Because I was thinking he was going to sub Rooney and keep Sandro in and have Sandro and Calvert-Lewin all play together. Anyway, when he brought in those players, we looked good. We looked good, and we looked like we were going to score. And Rooney was in. All right? However, do I think we would do well to have a little bit more pace in the squad if Rooney wasn't in? Yeah. I think there's certain games where Rooney in the squad works, and there's certain games where, maybe we need a Nias. Maybe we're going to need to play Sandro and Calvert-Lewin together. Eventually, Sandro's going to get up to speed. Yeah. No doubt in my mind. All right? So we're going to have more depth. So Rooney's just going to need to rest some. He's not 16 anymore. You know? So he's just going to need some rest. Let's just, rotate him some and not tell him, hey, it's about form, we're struggling with you in. Tell him it's tactical. Because it is tactical. Sometimes we're going to need,
better players.
Nias type of, better players. Again, with Rooney's brain and his control and his passing, he gives us something that Nias doesn't, because Nias doesn't have those things really, but Nias has something that Rooney doesn't have. So it's just pieces. When do you need those pieces? All right. Next question comes from Reese SMC. Okay? RHYSSMC. Reese SMC. Again, I don't know what all those stand for. And I'm really not clever enough to come up with a bunch of words on the fly. So, Reese SMC asks, should we play Calvert-Lewin instead of Sandro? I think we should.
No.
That's what Reese says. What do you say?
No. When Sandro and Vlasic and Calvert-Lewin all played together in the Sunderland game, they were brilliant. So, I think Sandro does need to play. I think he's good. I think he's a really good talent. I think at the minute maybe don't play him as much because he's not used to the league. Mm-hmm. Maybe give him a couple of games in the under-23s, sort of like so that he can sort of acclimatise himself. But I personally don't see him as a striker. I see him as more as a winger.
Who, Sandro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he's got that quality.
Sees him more as a winger. Yeah, I think Koeman's like you, sees him as a winger. I don't know. I see him as the best way we can use him is as a second striker.
Yeah.
Playing off that other striker. I feel like that's where we're going to see the best of him. He needs to be in a position to be able to take quick shots. He has such a strong leg. Both his left and his right are strong. He's just so many times he gets the ball and he's so far away from the box, he's not in a position to score.
No.
He's having to drop so far back. But I agree, Calvert-Lewin, I think if it's a choice, if it's a situation where the situation that Reese poses here, Calvert-Lewin or Sandro, I would play Calvert-Lewin right now definitely. Because he's more acclimatized to the league. But again, I'm big on situational substitutions. If it's a European match, I thought starting Sandro was a good idea last night because Calvert-Lewin had played most of the other game, and he's probably going to play against Burnley.
Yeah. So
make sure he's still young. Koeman likes to say he likes to protect the young players, and I agree that's a good idea. Rotating is good. But yeah, I think we both agree. If it's an either-or thing right now, Calvert-Lewin, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, so Everton.fan, and there's no name attached. So I'm going to call Everton.fan. I'm going to say that this is Steve.
Steve.
Okay? Steve. Everton.fan, if that's not your name, sorry.
We apologize.
And if it is your name, then I am clairvoyant, and that's amazing. So the Everton.fan Steve says, try to talk about the atmosphere in Goodison. Booing them doesn't help. We need to be singing for 90 minutes and getting behind them. Okay? This is a contentious point because I feel like half of people agree with this and half of people disagree. What do you think, Edward, as someone who goes the game frequently?
See, I personally think you have to boo. You have to boo players when they're not playing well, because then that sort of gets them thinking, oh gosh, we're doing badly, we need to improve this, otherwise the crowd are not going to get behind us. I can understand why he said it, because it makes sense. It gives them the extra motivation if the crowd's behind them all the time, but yesterday the crowd were behind the team so many times, but yet they weren't doing anything, so are you going to tell a load of fans that have been singing their name a couple of times, try and get them motivated, when they start booing them, they're wrong to do that? Are they wrong to boo them when Because I mean, they're disagreeing with how they're playing. That's how they're gonna have to say it. They can't say anything else because they're not gonna get heard otherwise. Booing is the only way that sort of communicates from everyone saying you're playing bad, please improve. That's how I see it.
I agree to a certain extent. I think both the team, managers, all of that, and the people in the stands, everybody has a mutual responsibility. Okay? They work together. All right? If the team has a new manager, new system, and all that stuff, there's a mutual responsibility there because the fans have to show some enthusiasm to try to give the team some hope. I think that needs to happen. Additionally, though, the team is responsible to put in maximum effort to get the people off their feet, on their feet, to get them singing. And so right now, as a person who watches things on TV, all right, correct me if I'm wrong here because you probably will, but it seems to me like Goodison is kind of a quiet place these days. It comes across quiet, and there's not a whole lot of enthusiasm to begin the games. Usually, if we score or if we have some seriously good play, then we get into it. It's kind of a prove it to me kind of an attitude.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's the team who sometimes doesn't look very inspired, and they have a lineup that also isn't giving anybody confidence. So it's right now it seems like it's both. I agree. I've never booed anything in my life just because I think it's a ridiculous noise. It just makes you, when you boo, you just sound ridiculous. It just sounds, but I agree with the principle of it. I think people have paid their money. When they pay their money and they drop a big portion of their paycheck to be a season ticket holder, they've earned the right to boo.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
So, Everton.fan, we agree with what you're saying, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'd go with that.
And I personally would never, I'm not a boo guy, I would agree with you, but I think if we're talking about everyone, it's just a broader picture. All right? So, next, JP McElhinney. I don't know. It's again, I'm butchering
JP
names. McElhinney. Yeah. I thought it sounded right. Anyway, here's a simpler way to say this person's name, a.k.a. Maka. Okay?
Yeah.
That's simpler. Maka asks, why won't Koeman play Holgate and Keane? I think this is a quick answer. Okay?
Yeah.
You want to start or you want me to?
You can start.
All right. Right now, there's an obvious reason. Because Keane is injured. Obvious reason. However, bigger picture. Why hasn't he started? It's because Koeman likes experience. Koeman, if he's got Jags and if he's got Williams, he starts those players. And for some reason, when they make mistakes, he only shifts them out for each other.
Yeah.
He doesn't think Holgate is ready to play center back. And the only reason he's doing it right now is out of necessity.
I think, to be honest as well, I think that's really only his second or third game as centre-back in a two-man partnership for Everton. So he's got to get experience. So I can understand why Holgate's not being played with Keane at the same time. Because really the only experience they've got together is Holgate as right-back. So that's probably one of the reasons why, obviously, you've said Keane is injured. But I think you've got to give it until probably January-ish, Maka. I think give it until January, and I think Keane and Holgate will probably be playing together.
I hope. I mean, like I said before, I'm a situational guy, so I think quicker teams with more pace up front that don't have a big target man to kind of to finish dead balls. We play Holgate against those quicker teams because he's faster.
Mm.
I I think that's where you play him. I think you do it situationally. Make him part of the rotation. Don't just play him when he's your only option, because that drains his confidence. I don't know. I would like to see it. I've been asking for it all season, but I also don't think he's ready to play game in, game out at that position. He's not.
No.
It's a tougher position to play than right back. It just is. All right, last question. Dave, win. Win right now. Ha! Not spelled the same as win. WYNNE. Dave Wynn asks, where do you reckon Koeman will go on holiday next week?
Straight out of England.
Straight out of England. So
Yeah. Anywhere else, anywhere outside of the UK, he'll go. Just as far as away as possible. at the minute.
anything
Maybe Netherlands. Maybe he'll go
anything
back to
to-
the Netherlands. He'll get his confidence again there.
would make sense. Anything to escape the situation and kind of get away from the bad vibes.
Yeah.
I am going to say a very Carolina's response. I'm going to say where everybody around here goes on vacation, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He's going to fly across the Atlantic, and he's going to go to Myrtle Beach.
Is that you hoping?
And I think, why not? Why not go to Myrtle Beach? The pavilion's not really there anymore, but, if it were, you could ride the rides. He could play some golf. He might see me there.
Mr. Koeman!
We could go for a jog together. So, yeah, you're saying the Netherlands. I'm saying Myrtle Beach. Let's do that. All right?
Fair enough.
So, that is the post. We've already done the news. Thanks to everyone for your questions. We think you're stupendous. If any of you ever find yourself in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, I'll buy you a pint. Or
If they're legally
a
allowed.
12-ounce. Yes. Or actually, here they don't pour beer in pints. They pour 12-ounce beers because Americans never pour pints, and it's ruining our country. Anyway, hey, if you're into these videos, subscribe and like. Type some comments. We would honestly love it. Also, Edward's channel is awesome too. You should check that out.
FIFA 18 comment coming soon.
Until later, thanks for watching. We're out.
Adios.